Hundreds of people are starving in a land that has long held the promise of being the breadbasket of East Africa. However, our food security measures are not keeping pace with our changing climate, and this impact hits hardest in the rural areas. The shocking reality is that a lot of our staple food is never processed beyond its basic state. Fresh food is great, but its decay begins once it's fully ripe, and once this happens, its price begins to drop. The sweet potato is an example of a crop grown in abundance, but whose economic potential shrivels at the market stall. Coming up on Seeds of Gold.
I use sweet potato itself at a fresh form, then I do value addition on it.
We hear the story of how Stella Appeal is converting the sweet potato into more than just a root tuber.
Then I make chips, the flour, the snacks and whatever.
And how her work has set her on the path to educate rural farmers on the economic viability of processing it. The sweet potato has quickly become a staple food of Uganda. Once a crop only indigenous to South America, it has become a popular crop in Africa because of its major health benefits. There is a conscious effort to improve its nutritional value at a scientific level, as well as its commercial viability for subsistence farmers.
My name is Apios Mary Stella. What I do for a living is I make products, various products. Then I sell to those who want it. The products can range from cakes, cookies, bagia, donuts, bread, and all other products. I also make now feeds for animals. Sometimes, in fact, I do much of this when I'm also training other people who want to start like bakeries. People who want to make snacks for their living. So I go and teach them, they pay me the money. How are we making those products here? These products, we can make them in three forms. I mean, we can use this sweet potato in three forms. The first form, we can use it in the fresh form. This fresh form, we can boil. When we boil, we can get actually a lot of products. We can get the juice from this sweet potato, which is boiled. We can eat a snack. We can mash and make mandazis, sweet cakes and everything. Without you going very far, you can use this. Then I will have some sweet potato one lousing like this. I say, cut that one, you make into crisps, then go to school. This one can take 3 months. This one can take 3 months. This one can take 3 months. When your child is eating at school, this is our beautiful flour from sweet potato. So also for food security, you have already harvested your potatoes, you don't want it to rot, you mill it, you put in a bucket or in the cavera or in the pot. When it is there, you can now pick little by little. This can be your business, you can be taking to the supermarket, and that's how you will be earning your money. You don't do much, you just buy the sweet potatoes, mill properly, nicely, then you pack like this. Don't you see this in the supermarket? I'm also a member of Uganda Small Scales Association. I'm also in the training department. I'm a trainer with the food sector. Yeah, recently they trained us on access to market. And I am also a master craftsmanship in Uzia. I advise. But I was also born in a sweet potato area. From when I was young, we used to eat sweet potato. We used to make dried sweet potatoes, but of course at a lower utilization level. But at least in Soroti, I grew up seeing the flour, seeing the chips, and also eating a lot of it.
Stella believes that for the Ugandan market to embrace alternative sweet potato products, more farmers need to get behind the production wheel.
Uganda has a potential to do value addition on sweet potatoes, simply because we are one of the largest potato growing country. every family grows sweet potato and they eat sweet potatoes. But the utilization is extremely very low. But if we combine the responsibilities, the researchers, the farmers, the processors, the farmers, and the media, we can have sweet potatoes in the market with using all products. We can have them in the supermarket, we can sell them out of the country, we can actually export our sweet potatoes. Because we have a lot of vines which are already released, which are high yielding, some with vitamin A, we have also some which are purple. So if we inject in money for value addition, like the president wants us to inject money, to do value addition. We have youth who don't have employment. So if they start with the sweet potato, that is how we can increase the value addition products of sweet potato. Especially now people who are coming from school, you don't have the money, you can make products like for porridge, you take to the supermarket. That is a way forward. You make products, you make recipes, you make cookies and take to the canteen. People will buy because there is no difference. You have to make the standard of any other cookie. Like the sweet potatoes people have bought from here and everybody was saying it is very nice. So it can sell like any other. When you know that you have reduced the cost of certain things, we are using something Ugandan, not imported. So I'm sure there is a potential for us to have products from sweet potatoes in the future to come. You find it hard to go ahead with doing what you want to do because people have another attitude about it. You want to say that, okay, these are sweet potato cakes. I can't eat, I want this one for wheat. These are sweet potato porridge. No, I want for soya because that's what's But I know in future, if we continue making, I make from here, you make from there, the other person from there, and it is in the supermarket, people will buy. And also we teach them how to utilize it. People will like. But that is the challenge so far. Even if you put sweet potato in the market, nobody will know, nobody will buy it.
Here are some quick facts on sweet potatoes. Uganda is the third largest producer of sweet potatoes in the world. At least 5 out of 10 farmers in Uganda grow sweet potatoes. The average yield from a farmer's field is 4.2 tons per hectare. Virus diseases cause close to 98% total yield loss. The estimated economic gain of adapting sweet potatoes storyland to viruses and weevils is over $16 million. A large number of Uganda's small-scale farmers grow sweet potatoes at the subsistence level, which they sell at farm gate prices. When we return on Seeds of Gold, we talk to scientists who are working on new breed varieties for our most common staple foods to increase their nutrition values as well as their pests and disease resistance. We went to Chikotanindye in Kozi sub-county to a farm owned by Vincent Ranyaga. Ranyaga is the current chairperson of Sweet Potato Multipliers Central Region. Here we got a visual of how he farms sweet potato vines.
Mbadde mulimi wa lumonde okumala ebbanga naye natuukirirwa ab'ekitongole kya Harvest Plus ne batulaga obulungi buli mu lumonde wa kipaapaali nenkyuka nentandika okulima amalagano nenkunga ne balimi banne ntandika okugalima.
He has been in the business of sweet potato vines for the last 4 years and currently sells several sweet potato varieties to Harvest Plus and individual buyers.
Nyima amalagala ga kipaapaali mbika 7. Tulinamu Kakamega, Ejumula, Nasport 8, Nasport 9, Nasport 10, Nasport 12, Nasport 13.
Running the farm is no easy task and he has hired labor to help him in every stage. He has worked out a system where each task has a wage attached to it.
Tukkaanya bapatana emirimu gye bakoze kati ngwa basala amalagala ago naye tugateekamu bingi tulina okugalabirira tugakola emirundi mingi kati ngajja mu laabu bwe ngajja mu laabu ningateeka mu screen house tujja kutuukayo kati ningateeka mu nasale eduuka ntandika okugasa okugagaba kati bano abasala ensawo buli nsawo sengi 1,000 ate abapakira nusu 6 kati nga sinateekako okutikka kutamba bwe bityo.
The initial cost of his screen house was 3 million Ugandan shillings, 500,000 for the wooden frame, 2.4 million shillings for the 25 meters of netting material, and 100,000 shillings for the labor. He plans to expand the size of the screen house in the near future. On the other hand, farm work generates a lot of waste when crop that does not match market standards is discarded. In this space, Ranyaga has found an opportunity for poor quality sweet potatoes in the creation of animal feed.
Okubawo amalagala g'ensuula n'obumondo obutono bwe nkolamu ebyo. Obumondo omunene ne mba nga ate mutunda butonzi katayi n'omukolamu ebirala. N'ekyo twakiraba nga bye mba nsudde kumpi ate mwijja emmere.
Ranyaga is one of the several farmers who are selling the vines, but there is a need to complete the value chain by encouraging more farmers to engage in value addition. Stella emphasizes on the need to train farmers on how to properly process sweet potatoes.
They also have to learn how to do to handle. Post-harvest handling of sweet potato is also not very good, because people have to train on how to make this flour from the ground before it goes into preparing cakes. If the flour is dirty, if it is also smelling bad, it might affect the product. So our farmers first have to learn how to dry, how to slice, then they come out with a nice product. So that is the thing that we have to go for. Train the farmers how to bring out sweet potato flour. Train the farmers how to handle sweet potato right from the garden up to the market. An entrepreneur with the sweet potato, especially value addition, I want you to pick like one product, not all. The one which you think, for example, if you don't have an oven, you can say that you can start with making just chips, like cassava chips. People now make chips. There are those ones who roast. That's already value addition. And then you can make flour. Now for you, if you don't want a lot of work, you can make flour, and then you do composite, flour composite. You make your flour from sweet potato. That will be the major ingredient. Then you can bring the rice flour, mix with it, composite, millet, soy, maize. And then you start your product. You say, I make my products from porridge. You can put in the supermarket. After packing it properly, it can be bought from the supermarket. That one can sell.
Ongoing research is being done to improve the quality of sweet potato. Dr. Bernard Yada of NaCRRI was in Arua to share with local farmers the extent of the work he's investing in the household crop.
It also helps reduce high blood pressure. I know most old people, if you get one that is not complaining about high blood pressure, it's always rare. They were healthy, our parents were healthy. Now all of them are suddenly saying, I have pressure, I have pressure. So promoting such varieties will help a lot in reducing the issues of high blood pressure. This one and the orange ones, they also increase the body's immunity, the ability of the body to fight diseases like malaria, like night blindness. So these sweet potato varieties are very healthy.
We work on addressing constraints to sweet potato production in Uganda through breeding, mainly breeding for improved nutrition, improved storage root yields, breeding for improved resistance to sweet potato virus diseases and sweet potato weevils, among others. We have vines you can get from the NaCRRI, that's Namlonge, and also at the zonal agricultural research and development institutes of NARO, including Zadi, among others. So farmers can get these varieties from the Zadis. Yeah, they have to invest some small cost because producing clean vines comes at a cost. If we're to sustain it, then farmers will have to meet some small cost, some modest cost towards the production of these clean materials. With improved varieties given to farmers, their yields will substantially increase. And added with the nutrition aspect of it and the value-added product to these nutritious sweet potato varieties, farmers will be able to make more profits and their livelihoods will change for the betterment of this country.
New sweet potato varieties are currently blooming in the fields of the institution, Zadi institutions, some of which are already being framed by small-scale farmers.
Sweet potato is a perennial crop, but mostly produced by farmers as an annual crop, which means they can mature between 3, 4, and 5 months. You can start harvesting them. But actually, they can stay in the field for up to 1 year. However, this normally has the disadvantage in that as they stay long in the field, the roots have to mobilize assimilates for the vines to continue growing. That normally affects the quality of the roots that you harvest if you leave them in the field for such a long time. That's why most farmers and even our varieties mature between 3, 4 to 5 months. So from 3 months we can harvest all our varieties. The basic seed multiplication at Zadi has 3 varieties. Nasport 12O, which is orange in flesh, and the vines are green but purple pigments. The second variety is Nasport 13O, which is also orange in flesh, and the vines are green in color. The third variety there is Dimbuka Bukulula, which is a cream-fleshed variety with green leaves that are lobed.
Some of these varieties are already being grown on small-scale farms. Dr. Sadiq Kasim, the Director of Research, encourages farmers to adapt to these new varieties.
Yeah, sweet potato is one of the most important food and income security crop for this zone. And you take one of my districts like Yumbe, it is actually a staple crop. The goodness with the sweet potato for this region is that you can produce it in the 2 seasons. These days, because of the climate change, the fast rains have actually drastically been affected. But still with the sweet potato, you can get good production for 2 seasons. And then also farmers are able to bridge it in valleys during the dry season. And when you see the way sweet potato is being cultivated, it is able to conserve moisture and is able to conserve soil. And for it, is one of the few crops that can be planted in our wetlands, in our swamps, without much damage to the soils. Because for it, we normally grow with very minimal pesticides or agrochemicals. And then secondly, the way the soils are heaped prevents erosion and silting of the streams nearby. So for it really is a friendly crop in that regard. So you can produce year round. Currently, as a country, we stand as 3rd globally in sweet potato production after China and Nigeria. And actually in land area, we are one of really not even 3rd, almost 2nd. But our challenge is that our yields have been very low due to diseases and pests that have been building up over time, affecting our local land races, their yield. Now, being 3rd, we really don't have a very well documented export of sweet potato outside this country. But for us, like in West Nile, bordering South Sudan and Congo, especially farmers informally export a lot of sweet potato in this region to especially South Sudan, where after the war many people were out of the country and they have gone back. Their agricultural systems have not stabilized. Although their soils are fertile, they still rely more on Uganda for food supply. So sweet potato finds a lot of market in that country.
We hope that Ugandans will embrace the products that come from the value addition process and increase their support of homegrown industry at the grassroots levels.